We're hitting Caleb and Sophia, boys. This woman here on the left that's holding the baby, she's not a Jehovah's Witness, but her daughter is friends with Sophia at school. And Sophia has been like reading Jehovah's Witness literature to her during lunchtime and been trying to like weasel her into going to the Kingdom Hall and stuff like that. And the mom seems to be all for it. Oh, I see. So this is a flashback, I guess. The girl on the left, I think, is the one that's studying with Sophia. And this is the grandma. Oh, yes. Oh my God, I remember now. Long ago, Sophia convinced this girl basically to study Jehovah's Witness literature with her by tugging on her heartstrings. The girl was sad that her grandmother died, and Sophia like wrestled all day with it. Oh, should I give her this Jehovah's Witness literature or no? She finally decided to give it to her, and it was what happens or how you deal with it when like a parent dies or a family member dies. And the reason she gave it to her is because she's trying to convince her that she'll get to see her again in the new system. Of course, it's false hope. Jehovah's Witnesses are wrong. There won't be a new system where, Jesus raptures 144,000 people to heaven and they judge all the people left on earth and there's an Armageddon and then they rebuild a garden. Blah, blah, blah. They're wrong about that. I can very confidently say they are incorrect about their eschatology. So she's just like pulling on this girl's heartstrings for absolutely no reason, basically.
Hey.
I wonder, where's the dad in this scenario? We only ever see the mom and the grandma, I guess. Dude, I'm sorry. This whale, top tier. I so want one of those in my yard. Oh my God. I will pay literally any amount. I just want a whale in my yard. And I love the killer whale there too. That's good.
Oh.
So she really cared about her grandma, basically. Yeah. And now the grandma's gone. They're feeling the loss. Damn. I mean, this is pulling on your heartstrings, right? A lot of young kids know this feeling. Kids will look for any reason to get that parent back, that grandparent or whatever. They'll look for any excuse, whatever it takes, to feel connected to them again. And Jehovah's Witnesses implying that this is the way. The greatest act of love, John 3:16.
Oh. Here you go. Thanks. Hey, soon we're having a memorial, and you have to come. It's the most important event.
I assume a lot of people watching this will be Jehovah's Witnesses, so they'll know. But in case I have some non-Jehovah's Witnesses who are unfamiliar with the whole thing, the memorial is kind of like their Passover. Like, it's like their Easter, I guess, kind of. It happens on, it's supposed to happen the night of Jesus' death, and they calculate it out based on like the lunar calendar or whatever, so it's different every year, as Easter is.
This invite is for you and your mom. I can tell you more about it at our study. Okay, thanks. Bye. See you later, Sophia.
That's right, Camille. Okay, let's move on to the next paragraph.
Camille, metal fucking name, right? I guess the mom is studying too with Sophia's mom. That's interesting. I didn't realize that she was studying also.
Do you mind reading?
Okay, sure. Many people hope for good things to happen, but they cannot be sure that their hope...
Okay. Now it's your turn.
Yeah, they've planned all of this out beforehand. Like Sophia's mom planned out with Sophia exactly how this study should play out. And look, they've got scissors, they've cut out pictures. I guess they're gonna pick out who is my assumption.
Life was perfect. Adam and Eve disobeyed Jehovah.
Oh, chain of events type of deal. Okay.
They lost their perfect life and died. Right. After that, nobody was perfect. So everyone would grow old and die. Jesus came to earth and taught everyone about Jehovah. He gave his life. He died for us. That's right. So that in the future, nobody will have to die.
Like, it's so sad that this is Pixar level quality of animation. Like, it's basically flawless animation, like really impressive stuff, and it's being wasted on this trash, on this drivel, if you will. Like, super disappointing. They are like, look, just step back a little bit and watch what they did here, where the pictures were not lined up and she adjusted them. That's a little touch that every person does. They want things to be straight. They're just so good at animation, and it's so sad that they're wasting their talent. They're all Jehovah's Witnesses, by the way. Everybody that works on this animation team, they're all Jehovah's Witnesses, every one of them. They don't work with outsiders nearly ever.
Jesus came to earth and taught everyone about Jehovah. He gave his life. He died for us. That's right. So that in the future, nobody will have to die. Has anybody ever given you a special gift?
Going back to tugging on those heartstrings, that's what Jehovah's Witnesses do best. I've told this story before, but I used to be close friends with a YouTuber, another YouTuber. They had a tragedy. They lost a child. And as a public figure, they were like working up to this. They were excited about it, talking about it. Oh, I can't wait to have this baby and everything, you know? And everybody was super excited for them. And they lost the baby. They lost the kid. And they had to go there on Twitter and tell their audience they lost the baby. And it was one of the hardest experiences that I imagine they ever had to go through, having to go there and announce to an audience. And then for the next year, people who were out of the loop were unaware, but 6 months ago used to watch them come into your stream or your Twitter account or whatever and saying, hey, how's the kid doing? Imagine how hard that is. And they were on Twitter. They said we lost the baby. And seemingly out of nowhere, a Jehovah's Witness pops in the chat there and replies to her tweet and says, you'll get to see your baby again one day, using this tragedy as an opportunity to bring in new converts. Dude was probably searching on Twitter, dead baby, to look for people whose tragedy he could take advantage of. And he found the wrong one. I shredded him for that, but I don't think it even mattered because he blocked me as soon as he found out I was disfellowshipped and just found the next person in the search. That's what Jehovah's Witnesses do. And I honestly don't even blame Jehovah's Witnesses as individuals. I blame the society, as they call it. I blame the Watchtower Society for not just encouraging people to do that, but training them to do it. Literally training them in schools to do this.
Why do you think they gave it to you? Because she loved me. Right. Jehovah and Jesus gave us the greatest gift. It costs a lot. but they give it to us because they love us.
This is deep emotional manipulation right here.
And they want us to live forever. But what about my grandma? Their gift is for her too.
But she wasn't a Jehovah's Witness, I think, is the question. So is she going to be in the new system?
There's somebody in the Bible I would like you to meet.
The answer is yes, she will likely be in the new system. According to Jehovah's Witness official eschatology, it may not be fully reflected in their cultural whatever, but they definitely, absolutely for sure believe that everybody is going to be given a second chance. Everybody, except for like a few specific people. Hitler was truly evil and will not be given a second chance, basically. Adam and Eve already had their shot at perfection. They won't be given a second chance. Judas Iscariot, what he did was evil enough that he won't be given a second chance. But when Jesus returns, all right, Jesus returned in 1914, invisibly, to anoint the Jehovah's Witness organization, the Watchtower Society, as God's chosen organization. They're his chosen mouthpiece on earth. And millions, all right, let me rephrase. I don't want to get too deep into the eschatology here. And within the generation of the people alive to see that event take place, that generation will not die off. That was the claim. People who were born, baptized, and, anointed, quote unquote, as a Jehovah's Witness by 1914, the people in that generation will not fully die before the end comes. Of course, that's happened. So they came up with a new theory called the second generation teaching, just to extend it. Long story, it's irrelevant, but they basically have 25 more years at most before they have to modify it again to extend it even further. But when Jesus returns again, the final time, he will be acting as the Son of Man, quote unquote, which means he's going to be like a cosmic judge who's going to spark Armageddon. He's going to rapture all the anointed people, and they're going to kill like all of the truly deeply evil people. If you're killed by the raptured angels, the 144,000 anointed people, if you're killed by them, you're gone. That's it. Otherwise, everybody, pretty much, will be resurrected after the dust clears for a second chance. They're going to be brought back to life, and Jehovah's Witnesses who survived it are basically going to have to go around and teach them and say, look, you've been resurrected by God because he cares about you, and this is the real way to blah, 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 blah. They're going to rebuild, and Satan will be released one more time to tempt people one more time. It's going to be a 1,000-year period of judgment, and then at the end, Satan will be killed, and anybody who is evil will be killed, and all that will be left will be God's people, and they'll live happily ever after in a paradise earth. That's the belief. So in this belief system, I will be resurrected as well. In this belief system, Donald Trump will be resurrected, assuming that he wasn't like a particularly evil person. Like pretty much everybody, just about everybody, gets a second chance and gets to try to live for that 1,000 years. So the answer is yes, the mom will, or the grandma, I'm sorry, will be resurrected to have the opportunity to whatever, as Sophia is laying out here. That's their eschatology. I mean, and some of that may not match up with what some Jehovah's Witnesses recognize as the eschatology. That's the belief, though. That is the belief. That is official doctrine according to the Watchtower Society today. I did crazy amounts of research on it.
But what about my grandma? Their gift is for her too. There's somebody in the Bible I would like you to meet. She's a lot like you. Luke chapter 7. She lived in a city called Nain. She had a husband and a son.
Bet that kid's a little shithead, right? Doesn't he just, his face screams little shithead, doesn't it? See what I'm saying? Little shithead.
But then, her husband died. She still had her son to keep her company.
That's cute. See, they're so good at animation, and it is so sad to me that it's being wasted. They put the little chicken on the edge of the thing that he's turning. I love that. In reality, I understand chickens are bastards.
But then, her son died too. They both died? She was already a widow, and now she was all alone.
It's gotta be rough.
The day of the funeral, Jesus came to Nain, and he saw the widow.
Stop weeping.
It's the son, I guess?
Young man, I say to you, get up.
I'm not sure which resurrection event this was supposed to be. I don't remember this specific story. God, I would love it if they didn't, like, blast it into my ear randomly. Jesus Christ, please. Equalize your sound, people. I'm begging you.
Wow. Why do you think Jesus brought him back to life? Because he loved them. Yeah. He loves all of us. He loves you. That's why he died for us. Jehovah brought Jesus back to life. Soon, Jesus will resurrect people. And because he died for us, we can all live forever. It's the greatest gift anyone could give us.
I just have to point out how odd it is that God, I mean, Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe Jesus is God, but generally the Christian belief, the Trinitarian belief is God sent himself to earth to sacrifice himself to appease himself. Is that weird to anybody else? Am I the only one? It makes no sense at all. Why wouldn't God just, like, forgive it? And you know what? If there's some law of the universe that God is incapable of bending, which doesn't make any sense, but okay, if that law exists that he can't bend, give Adam and Eve a vasectomy, or give Adam a vasectomy, and hell, spay and neuter both of them. Why not? And create a new breeding pair. That is the solution here, it seems to me, right? Instead, God went through this whole big, complicated process of sending himself to die, to forgive himself, and all this other stupid shit. None of this is necessary. All of this suffering could have been avoided. And you know what? You're God. Guide the new breeding pair, you know, give them the same DNA so that all the same people will be born from them, the identical situation, so that we would all be born anyway, but we'd be born into a perfect world. I don't understand. This doesn't make any sense. I'm just some asshole behind a keyboard, and I came up with this. Is God really so stupid and incompetent as to not be able to do something so straightforward? I don't get it. The real answer is the book of Genesis was never meant to be taken literally. It's what's called antiquity literature. Antiquity literature is literature that was never meant to be taken literally. It was basically stories, campfire stories that were told by people in a village. They would go around and they would ask, the villagers questions about their family and their histories and their beliefs and everything. Like, for example, the story of the frog and the scorpion, right? The scorpion says, I want to cross the river. Can I ride on your back across the river? And the frog says, no. If I let you on my back, you're going to sting me and I'm going to sink and we're both going to die. And the scorpion says, why would I do that? We would both die. I don't want that. I'm not going to sting you, I promise. And the frog says, okay, fine, hop on. And the scorpion gets on halfway across the river. Scorpion stings the frog. And the frog says, why'd you do that? Now we're both going to die. And the scorpion says, because I'm a scorpion and that's what scorpions do. That is a campfire story that has a moral lesson. Don't know what it is exactly, but it's in there. And talking animals and everything that the book of Genesis contains. That is obviously not a literal story. A literal frog did not speak to a literal scorpion. It was trying to convey a message as a campfire story. And that's what the book of Genesis is. It's written as a historical narrative, but it's stories like that. This whole thing about God like sacrificing himself to himself, and there's a, tainted breeding pair that like sinned, and there's a snake in the garden that was trying to encourage her to eat an apple and all that. It was just antiquity literature. It's just antiquity literature. That's it. It's not meant to be taken literally. It never was.
When we go to the memorial, it's a way to say thank you. I hope my mom wants to come too.
They present the memorial as the only holiday Jehovah's Witnesses are allowed to celebrate, but it's not even celebrated as a holiday. They don't do anything special for it. They don't give each other gifts. They just go to the Kingdom Hall after sundown and observe the, passing around the bread and the wine, and that's it. Then they go home at the end of the night. That's it. They're done.
Mom,
Hi, baby.
should we get ready for the memorial?
Oh, honey. It was a long day. I'm so sorry.
Oh boy. If she's studying with Sophia's mom, that is not an acceptable answer. You call off work. You get out of that hospital bed if you're dying, and you make it. And if you don't make it, then you need to have somebody from the Kingdom Hall come over and bring unleavened bread and red wine to pass to you, a singular individual, so you can pass it back to that person. It is like a requirement if you're going to be a Christian at all in their eyes.
I don't think we can make it. Can't wait to see you tonight. Let us know if you need a ride.
Yeah, they literally cannot not show up to that. It would be really, really bad. So one thing that you have to show up to as a Jehovah's Witness.
It's Sophia's mom.
Mom, we can do this.
Let's do it.
Yay! Mommy?
Who's the dog celebrating about? He's not going.
Yes, my little princess?
I'm glad you're studying the Bible.
Me too.
It's so cringy, dude. I can't.
At this time, we will have the passing of the wine. As we all go home tonight, think about what Jesus' sacrifice means to you.
It means she gets to see her grandma again. That's the point here. Just like with that Jehovah's Witness trying to shove Jehovah's Witness shit on my friend who lost a child. They use this as a method of emotional manipulation, and it's truly, deeply disgusting.
Wow.
And she's gonna see the grandma there. I love the architecture. That's pretty cool, actually.
Mom!
Come with me.
Just wait for it. She's gonna find the grandma. By the way, I haven't seen this. This is the first time seeing it, but I know she's gonna find the grandma. She's gonna walk around the corner and she's gonna say, "Grandma!" Oh, wouldn't it be wild if she didn't find the grandma and they're like, turns out she was a Satanist. My God, dude, that would be so funny. That would have been the funniest shit ever that they could have put in this. There's no sadness in the new system. None. You will never be sad in the new system. Even if people aren't there that you wanted there, you will not be sad. You just won't think about them. That's the eschatology of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Zoe. Turn around.
Damn, I was hoping he was going to say she was a bad person. Oh my God, that would be so fantastic. I was hoping for a split second. I thought maybe, but no.
Zoe!
Grandma? It's you.
Can't win them all.
My baby girl.
I missed you.
Grandma's here now.
Emotional manipulation. They're keeping her hooked in by by promising her something they cannot deliver, that they will never be able to deliver. It's an invisible product, a fake product that she will never get to see. This is the strategy of Jehovah's Witnesses. Always has been, always will be.
Jehovah has shown love in many ways. But when he gave Jesus life for us, that was the greatest act of love.
Is that the end? Yep, it looks like that's the end anyway. Wow. Absolutely wild. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. Classic Caleb and Sophia video using emotional manipulation to tug on people's heartstrings. Now, when Jehovah's Witnesses go to a door, if there's a kid there, they give the kid a cell phone. Like the adult will give a kid a cell phone, or if they have a kid with them that they bring to the door, like when they go door knocking, they will let the kid go sit in the corner with the cell phone with the other child while they talk to the adult. And on the cell phone will be Caleb and Sophia. They're watching this. Now, what is a 6, 8, 10-year-old kid going to think who just lost their dad or their brother or their grandma or whatever? What are they going to think when they watch this? They're going to think, I don't have to feel this grief anymore if I just listen to this person. An adult has some degree of like logical protections against this kind of manipulation. Many do, anyway. Children do not. That is why they made this show for children. That's why they're putting this in the children's show, because they know that children don't have these protections, these logical defenses. It is like I know that they mean well generally, like not the leadership necessarily. In fact, most definitely not the leadership. But I know individual Jehovah's Witnesses mean well. But this is like really depraved shit. This is vile. And for what it's worth, the leaders, through all of the research that I've done for my multiple books on the subject, there's a section on Jehovah's Witnesses in my book, Was Hitler an Atheist, also. Through all the research I've done, I have come to find that the Watchtower Society leaders throughout history, with the exception maybe of Charles Taze Russell, the founder, have all been vile scumbags that have known what they were doing and have engaged in power struggles to gain more power. They've known what they were doing, and they did it anyway, cynically, intentionally, to manipulate people. Joseph Rutherford, Nathan Knorr, Fred Franz, and then the governing body members after that point, when the governing body got more powerful after the 70s and the president got less powerful. They all knew, in my personal opinion, they all knew what they were doing, and they knew it was wrong, and they did it anyway, intentionally. So if you're a Jehovah's Witness watching this stuff, I hope that you've recognized why what they're doing is really deeply wrong and depraved, and how disgusting it is to do something like that. I know it's not you. I know it's the Watchtower Society that has trained us to do this. I hope you recognize how debased and depraved it is. And I hope you read my books so that you too recognize how depraved the leadership of the Watchtower Society has always been. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments.